Hi, Jagdish.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, good, good.
How is the class going?
Class, no, kids came for holidays, Jagdish. Busy with them, cooking, eating, sleeping. I couldn't focus on the class. I'm so sorry. Once they leave, then I will focus and I will do homeworks and everything.
I think we had the last class last Thursday. Holiday has already started last Thursday.
Last Thursday, yeah, my son, he took off from the work and he came. Then I forgot about the class also last Thursday. I'm so sorry about it.
Okay,
And
Chanchal ji is on phone, so I will make a comment in Hindi. She will understand. लोग क्या क्या बहाना ढूंढते हैं?
huh? No Hindi.
No Hindi. So that's why I said to you in Hindi.
बहुत कुछ बहाना ढूंढते हैं.
Chanchal ji understood, I think.
And बहुत कुछ बहाना ढूंढते हैं लोग.
बहुत कुछ बहाना ढूंढते हैं.
हाँ.
कहीं से
ढूंढना पड़ता है. नमस्ते जगदीश जी.
Namaste, namaste.
Once they leave, I will focus on the classes. Right now I couldn't. I'm so sorry about it.
No problem. Okay. Let's see how many people have joined. Okay, people are still joining.
Hari Om Jagdish.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Namaste. This is Jayanti.
Namaste. Namassarvebhyaha.
Namaste.
Okay. Our 3-minute grace period is up. So share screen. Okay, you can see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's start with the prayers. Om Agajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Mahernisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's go to where we stopped. I think we stopped on somewhere in the middle of slide 12. Anybody have any questions on anything we covered till now? And keep in mind that this is based just introductory slides. We are going to do in a lot more detail in the textbooks on the topics we already discussed. Okay. If there are no questions, I think I stopped at this item, which is the importance of samasa. Okay, samasa is combining words by meaning to create a new word. And I think in Sanskrita, in English, a samasa pada is called a compound word, which have individual members or constituents that have their own meaning. They are connected by means of their meanings to give a new word. So that way it is different than a sandhi. So I give an example of the beauty of samasa. So this is the long word here underlined is Kataksha Kiranachanta Naman Mohabhaye Namaha. So this is the poet doing the namaskara to his Ishtadevata. So he explains his Ishtadevata with a lot of adjectives. Single word made of a few adjectives. Let's look at them briefly. And something similar we will do in more detail in the next few slides, maybe next class or the class after the last section of this slideshow. Okay. Now, everybody knows the meaning of kataksha. It's a very common word. So if you have to break this, how many words are there? Let's see. Kata, aksha, kirana, achanta, namat.
Manmoha abdaye namaha.
Namat mohabdaye namaha. Mohabdi. So kata, aksha, kirana, achanta, namat, moha, abdi. So 7 words are combined to make a one word with a specific meaning. So the meaning, they explain the meaning. If you write in a sentence, then it might run 3 or 4 lines. Okay. Now kata is corner, aksha is eye. So kataksha is corner of the eye. We generally use this for in prayers like krapa kataksha, like let the Lord look at me at least in the corner of the eye. Okay, kataksha, corner of the eye. Kirana, the rays. So kataksha kirana is rays from the corner of the eye. Okay, so let's keep that as one word. We will combine with the rest later. Okay, so kataksha kirana, that is one part. Then achanta. What is achanta? Everybody knows the word achamanam, right? Achamanam is the sipping, like the maybe generally used, not any sipping of the water used in a ritualistic manner. Okay, achamanam in Sandhya Vandana, it is always there. There are multiple times we do achamanam. So achamanam is sipping something like a liquid, small quantity. Okay, achanta. Namat. It is naman mohabdaya. That's naman. The ta becomes na because of the sandhi. Namat means the one who surrenders. Okay, that's namat. Moha is delusion. Abdi is ocean. Okay, so mohabdi is ocean of delusion. Okay. So if we have to give a meaning for this, his Ishtadevata is the one who sips the ocean of moha or delusion of the one who surrenders, namat, one who surrenders. Okay, so he is the one who sips the ocean of moha of the people who surrender to him. How does he do that? Kataksha kiranat. Okay, so just mere glance from the corner of the eye to that Lord, my namaha. Abdaye means unto that person, unto him. Okay, so kataksha kiranachanta naman mohabdi is Lakshmidhara Kavi's Ishtadevata. I think he is referring to Krishna or some other name of Krishna, but here he explains poetically. Kataksha kiranachanta naman mohabdaye namaha. Then there's one line, the 16 letters. The second line goes Anantananda Krishnaya Jagan Mangala Murtaye. Okay, so his Ishtadevata is Krishna. I took this one word because this is the longest word, consisting of 7 other words that are connected in a samasa. Okay, so that is the beauty of samasa. So if you have to explain, it needs 2 or 3 sentences. Any questions This is just to illustrate the beauty of samāsas.
I just had a question, Jagdish.
Yeah.
Mohabdi,
Hmm.
and then what is the next thing? How did ye come? The Mohabdi.
Okay. A is chaturthi vibhakti ekavachana.
Okay, of the yam word. Okay.
Okay. Hari becomes haraye. So ikaranta pullinga chaturthi ekavachana will end with the a.
Of the word abdi.
Abdi.
Okay.
Okay, but here the whole thing, kataksha kirana chanta naman moha abdi, tasmai namaha. Okay, tasmai is chaturthi ekavachana, unto him. Here, who is him? This ikaranta pullinga shabda. Okay, just like Hari becomes haraye, Ravi becomes ravaye, mohabdi becomes mohabdaye. Okay, let's see what next. Okay, something general about Saṁskṛta. So, Saṁskṛta should be loved and embraced in everyday life, not just revered and respected from a distance. A lot of people look at Saṁskṛta like awe, keep it a distance, do namaskara, maybe do puja and all those things for the Vyakarana books, but do not try to use it in a day-to-day. There is a illustration in Mahabharata similar to this, like loving from the heart and respecting from a distance. I think this illustration comes like Krishna goes to Gandhari after the war to console her, and during talking to her, something comes up, and I think Krishna mentions that people from both sides still respect her as the matriarch. And then she replies to Krishna saying that everybody respects from a distance, but they don't love from their heart like they do with you. Okay, so Krishna is loved by everybody, but Gandhari is respected from a distance. Then situation is not that bad now, but a few years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, there are a lot of talk in India, in the political circles and the language circles, that Saṁskṛta is a dying language. Why do allocate any resources to it and all those things? The situation is improving now. A lot more now. You have all kinds of resources if you are interested in learning Saṁskṛta, not only in India, anywhere in the world. So the question of dying language is not presently relevant, but then it is incumbent upon you and I, all of us, to keep it alive and the language going. Okay, this illustration I mentioned earlier, one dhatu can generate some 100,000 plus words. There's a small illustration of how it can be. Okay, so, and we will look at, I think, all of these mechanisms. We won't look at all the numbers. Like, for example, we will talk about these pratyayas, how these new dhatus are created from one dhatu, and what the lakāras that are tense endings. Okay, and then each dhatu can be converted into a noun by adding some pratyayas, and the nouns can have 21 different forms depending on the case endings. Okay, like that, these are an illustration of that big number I mentioned in the previous item. Okay, so we will cover each of these. Yeah, all of this we will cover in more detail in book 3. Okay, this is just a flare of how we can get such a big numbers. Okay, when you talk about big numbers, I just filled one slide with some words that are derived from the verb root kr. Okay, kr, to do. And as I mentioned, when I say a square root sign, that means what follows is a verb root. or dhatu. So dhatu is kr. It is full form as it is reported by Panini in the Dhatu Pata is dukruññikarane. You will have heard this phrase dukruññikarane. Where did we hear that?
Bhajagovinda first verse.
Bhajagovindam.
Govindam.
Okay. So dukruññikarane is the original dhatu. Of its the first letter and the last letter are the so-called it letter. They have certain functions, but the content is kr. So this kr, the dhatu, the DNA of this kr, that is kakara and rikara, you will see in some form or the other in all the words that are derived using this dhatu. Okay, let's look at some of this. Kr is the dhatu to do. Krita, it can be kritam, kriti, all those things. Krita, something that is done, completed, finished. Okay. Kriti, an object that is created by doing, like if when somebody finishes a book, that is his kriti. It's a literary kriti. When somebody finish a they say Tyagaraja kriti, he composed something, so his completed work. So the result of doing something, and maybe some painting. Okay, so a work that is being completed or done, result of doing. Karaniyam or karaniya, something that should be done. There's some pratyayas, like one of them is aniyar, that's where this karaniya comes. That means it's impelling that should be done. Kritya, something that is accomplished. Kara is one of the nouns, and we use that in multiple senses, but not commonly as hand. Okay, and I think maybe I might have mentioned this. The elephant gets the name Kari because it has a hand, unlike other animals. And if there is a word ending with kara, you can see the ka and ra in there coming from the. So kara is like a author or a creator. Okay. So we talk about Vakyakaram Vararuchim, Bhāṣyakaram Patanjalim, Sutrakara Panini. So one who makes sutra is Sutrakara. One who makes Bhāṣya is Bhāṣyakara. Okay. One who makes a script is a Lipikara. So you can do that, all those things. This is I show that as a suffix because something has to be preceded with that, because make of, he's the author of what, that should precede. That is why I show a hyphen. Kriya, an activity, very common word. Karmata, again here you see that karma also is derived from kri dhatu only. So karmata, clever and skillful in doing, okay? Or very methodical, step-by-step doing. Karana, something that makes other to do, so or reasons to do. Karana. Karishnu, one who always keeps doing something, okay, cannot keep quiet, always wants to do something. Kritrima, something that is intentionally done or artificially done. This kritrima generally has a negative connotation. Karmuka, a Sanskrita word for efficacious, one who does his job very well and completely. Chikirsha, this word we come across in Vedanta circles all the time. Chikirsha is a desire to do. Okay, so that the kir part is from the kri dhatu. The kakara and repa is from the kri dhatu. Then there's a multiple steps of derivation where the desire to do something comes at chikirsha. And this pratyaya also we are going to discuss with quite a few examples later in book 3. Okay, so that is just like jijñāsa, same kind of a derivation. Jijñāsa comes from jñā dhatu, to know. Chikirsha comes from kri dhatu, to do. Okay, kritavan, one who has done something. Kartavya, something that must be done, a duty. Karya, something that can be done, doable. See, in Vedanta circles, especially in Swami TV's class, we hear this pair of words, karana and karya, karana karya vada. So this both of them come from the root kr. Karma, something that is done, work. Karaka, the operator. This is we use a lot of times this karaka word in the grammatic sense also. And when we go to book 1, we will talk about kārakas because it's a very important concept when we come to the kriyapadas and namapadas. Okay, karta, the doer, is a kṛdātu plus truch pratyaya, which is agent of doing. So doer. Karana, it's something, object or tool which you do something with. So that's where we say instrument or instrumental case, karana kāraka. Okay, kratu, it is a plan, okay, a blueprint of things that are to be done or a plan. Kinkara, you heard the word this kinkara?
Yes.
Okay, the kinkara is servant. Where did this kara comes from? Kṛdātu, but kimkara, kim is a question. So servant like is an attendant. Kinkara means what shall I do? Kim karomi. Tell me what to do. Okay, that kind of servant. Some other words, I just wanted to fill the page, so I didn't give the meaning, but most of the words are very well known, very popular words. Adhikara, again, adi is the prefix, and then kṛdātu, and noun is derived from that. Parishkara, tiraskara, puraskara, all of those are the kara comes from the kṛdātu. Okay, pratikara, revenge, nirakaranam, like refusing, upakara, and our own language, Saṁskṛta, sukrita, dushkrita, like well done, badly done, or ill done, upakara, apakara, and some other nouns. Kritakritya. Who is a kritakritya? Okay, kritya is what is done. Krita is one who has done. Kritakritya is one who has done everything that has to be done. Okay, kritakritya. Kritartha, like somebody who is very satisfied, thankful. Karyakarta. Now karyakarta has both halves of the word are derived from the kṛdātu. Same way kritakritya also. Karyakarta. Karya is something done, something to be done. Karta is one who does it. Generally used for volunteers because he doesn't expect anything to be paid back. Then kritsna karma krit. I think this comes in Gita somewhere. Okay, kritsna karma krit is somebody who has who is complete, like is done completely whatever needs to be done. Okay, and there will be thousands of words because kṛdātu is such a common dhatu and very versatile one. So there are lots and lots of things. I just filled the page with some of the words that are derived from dhatu kṛ. Okay, some other features of the language. Okay, now we are coming to the nuts and bolts part. Words. In all the words available in Saṁskṛta can be classified for grammatical purposes, classified into two kinds. Subantas or nouns. Now noun or nāmapada is the common name. Subanta is the technical name. Okay, subanta means one that ends with the sup pratyaya. Sup pratyayas are the pratyayas or suffixes added to a dhatu or a verb or a noun base to make it into a usable word. Okay, so for the time being, you can say subanta is a noun word, tiṅanta is a verb word. So all the words can be classified into two kinds. And most of these words of both kinds are derivable from dhatus. We already saw an illustration from kṛdātu. by addition of certain suffixes. Okay. So infinite number of words are possible. Let's see how. I think the next item I have that different mechanisms of generating verbs and nouns. Right now, let's see some characteristics of verbs. Okay, verb word is made by adding a verbal suffix ting pratyayas. Now, ting is a purely grammatical term. Outside the Paninian grammar, the word ting doesn't have any meaning. Okay. Whereas in the case of Paninian grammar, ting means verbal suffix. Ting pratyayas, verbal suffix. So there are 18 of them. We'll talk about that in more detail in book 1. Okay, the second book we are going to cover. So any dhatu plus a verbal suffix gives you a verb word. A verb word contains 3 vachana. Vachana is number. Okay, singular, dual, and plural. I think we may have mentioned this. Saṁskṛta and a few other languages have dvivachana, but in English we don't have dvivachana. So singular is called ekavachana, dvivachana is dual, bahuvachana is 3 or more. And each verb word has what is called a person, purusha. This is a concept is there in English also. In Saṁskṛta, the equivalent terminology is purusha. Okay, so prathama purusha, madhyama purusha, uttama purusha. Okay, prathama purusha is the third person in English. He, she, it, they, all those things are prathama purusha. Madhyama purusha, there is no confusion. Madhyama purusha is you. Uttama purusha is I. Like you and I are talking about it. Okay, so the speaker is Uttama Purusha, the listener is Prathama Purusha, or listener is the Madhyama Purusha, and the topic of discussion, the person who we are talking about, is the Prathama Purusha. Okay, person, thing, topic, that is the Prathama Purusha. Okay, so a verb word will have a vachana and purusha, and then lakāras. This lakara are the tense indicators. This is just like the concept is there in English, but in Saṁskṛta there are 10 lakāras. Lakāras are tense indicators. Now all these 10 do not imply time. Okay, like in English, if you say present tense, the current time, past tense, the time gone by, future tense, time yet to come. Whereas in the case of Saṁskṛta, there are 6 lakāras which are used in the time sense. So that way you can say them as tenses. Okay, and the other 4 are mood indicators. Okay, like for example, there is something like called lot lakara. That means somebody orders or requests. That ordering mood is indicated by that lakara. Okay, each lakara have their own suffixes. Or there may be a blessing or benediction. So there will be ashirling. So vidiling, ashirling, lot, some of those 4 are mood indicators. They are not time indicators. Now, how the 6 tenses instead in 3 times? Now, the present tense has only 1 lakara, okay, lakara, whereas the past tense has 3 past tenses. Saṁskṛta has 3 past tenses. Okay, general past, immediate past, and the distant past. All these things we will cover in book 1 because nouns and verbs and how they are generated, what are the suffixes, all those things come in book 1, the second book we are going to cover. Okay, so 1 present tense, vartamana kala, so the and 3 past tenses, bhutakala, and 2 future tenses, bhavishyat kala. Okay, and then 4 mood indicators, as I said. Now this, all the 3 factors, the vachanas, purusha, and lakara. Okay, all these 3 are indicated by applying a proper suffix to the verb root. So verb root indicates the action, and if you add a ting pratyaya, one of the ting pratyayas, that does the job of fulfilling all these three requirements. Okay, like for example, okay, I don't have that yet. For example, suppose I say Balaha Patati, just a sentence with the two words. Okay, Balaha is the boy, Patati reads. Pat is the dhatu, pat to read. So you're adding a ti at the end to pat. That's how it becomes patati. Okay, this little one syllable pratyaya ti, okay, that contains the information of which vachana it is. Okay, patati is ekavachana, and if it is two boys are reading, then it will be patataha. If three boys are reading, that will be patanti. So singular is patati, plural is patanti. Okay, and patati also indicates the purusha. It is the pratama purusha, because balaha is the third person. Okay, or pratama purusha. So balaha patati, and if it is suppose say I am reading, say first person, then instead of patati it will be patami. And suppose I'm saying you are reading, then it will be patasi. Then it will be madhyama purusha. Okay, so if it ends with patati, that is prathama purusha, patami uttama purusha, patasi madhyama purusha, all ekavachanas. Okay, and same way, three vachanas and three lingas, so the 9 different possibilities are there, and then each of those, then there are 10 lakaras. That may be lat lakara, lit, lut, lut, that way 10 different lakaras. Again, all these are the topic of book 1. Okay, so because this ti, taha, anti, si, ami, patami, patavaha, patamaha, all those things, they are attached to the dhatu itself. There is, so therefore there is no need for a preposition or articles. Okay, like there is no need to say we will read, okay, or I will read. So patishyami, the one word will say I will read. All the meaning is, all the 3 word meanings are in there in the patishyami word. Okay, so no need to I will and all those things are not needed, because they are all contained in the pratyaya or the suffix itself. Okay, there are some basic features of the verbs, some basic features of the nouns now. How do the nouns come about? Noun has a noun base or nominal base or noun stem, which is a pratipadika. And then to the pratipadika, you add a noun suffix or a nominal suffix. Okay. Now the nominal suffixes will be, there will be 21, like the 7 case endings and 3 numbers. Okay. So again, for the nouns also, there will be singular, dual, and plural, and 7 case endings or vibhaktis. So the difference between verb and nouns is verbs, the basic element is verb root. For the noun word, the basic element is pratipadikam or the noun stem. Okay. And for the verb word, the suffixes are called ting pratyayas. The noun word, the suffixes will be sup pratyayas. Okay. And again, for the nouns, the pratyayas contains the details of 3 vachanas and the 7 vibhaktis. Okay. So 7 vibhaktis, like in English, we call it as first case, second case, up to 7th case. In Saṁskṛta, we say prathama vibhakti, dvitiya, up to saptami vibhakti. And that's for the prathama vibhakti, there's an extension which is called sambodhana prathama. which is used while calling somebody or addressing somebody. That is called Sambodhana Pratama. So I can say 7.5 cases. Okay, I put an example there. Kararavindena padaravindam mukaravinde. What is next? I think a lot of people in the class know that. Anybody?
Vinivesayantam.
Viniveshayantam. Where does it come from? Vala Mukunda something, right? So Kararavindena. So that is Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. Kararavindena, from with the hands. Okay, Aravinda is the lotus. Everything is explained in terms of lotus. So from the hand, by means of hand, Kararavindena. Here I gave the thing only to show the Vibhakti. Vindena, Aravinda, Tritiya Vibhakti, Ekavachana is Ravindena. Padaravindam, that is Dvitiya Vibhakti, Ekavachana. For second case, singular. Mukharavinde, like this is, I think, baby Krishna grabbing his foot with his hand and putting in the mouth. Okay, Mukharavinde, in the mouth. Okay, so the Aravinde, all the common ending is Aravinda. Aravindena, with the help of Aravindam, Padaravindam. That's the object, which is his foot. Mukharavinde, that is Saptami Ekavachana, or in the mouth. You can see that just the ending, changing the ending, it contains all those information. Okay, 3 vachana, 7 vibhakti. And then genders. The verbs do not have genders, but nouns do. Okay. In Saṁskṛta, verbs do not have gender. In some of the Indian languages, the verbs change based on the genders also. In Kannada language, yes, the verbs change based on the gender. I think in Hindi also it does. That's why there is word like karta hai or karti hai. So 3 lingas, pullinga, strilinga, napumsakalinga, which is common. And I gave an example there of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is neuter, napumsakalinga, Chit is strilinga or feminine, and Ananda is masculine. And this sometimes, to save space, you use some shortcuts. So N, if there is a noun or a noun base and has N, F, and M, that means it's gender. Okay, later on in the text, in the class. So this vachana and vibhakti become part of the noun by adding proper suffixes. No need for preposition, articles, etc. Okay. Any questions on these basic features of verbs and nouns? Okay, then
This,
we'll go.
I had one question. What are the articles? What is article?
Okay, like I don't know whether it's the right terminology or not. For example, the boy is going to school. How do you define the word to in the connected to school?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that is what I meant. Because in the to school, you will do it in Dvitiya Vibhakti in English or in Saṁskṛta, like shalam. So the to is built into the ending of shalam.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so to or from or with the help of, by means of, all those things.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Say somebody is coming from, so that instead of from, you just add at the end. Like I am coming from the city. From the city. City is Nagara. So from the city is Nagarat. So just adding at makes that from.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to use the word equivalent to at.
Thank you.
Okay, and also, say I said in the mouth. So Mukhara Vinde, just that adding the A indicates the seventh vibhakti. That means in the.
One small question about 6 tenses. You mentioned, I missed it.
Okay. So tenses are time indicators, right? When the verb tense means it's a time indicator when that action is done. Now, in English, we are familiar in most other languages also, we are familiar with only 3 senses: present tense, past tense, future tense. In Saṁskṛta, there are 6 tenses. How these 6 came? So, present tense, there is only one present tense. And past tense, depending on whether it's past tense is occurred just today, earlier in the day, or a few days ago, or decades or centuries ago, then based on that, there are 3 different past tenses or bhutakala in Saṁskṛta.
Okay.
Similarly, in bhavishyat kala, immediate and long future.
Okay.
Okay.
So 2 for future and 3
2 future
for
tenses.
past.
Yeah. 2 future tenses, 3 past tenses, 1 present tense, and 4 mood indicators.
Correct.
Those are the verbal suffixes, 10 verbal suffixes.
Are we also going to go through them
Yes.
in book 1?
In book 1.
Okay. Thank you.
Because book 1 deals with the nouns and verbs.
Okay. Thank you.
Right?
Jagadish, I have a question. This is Uma. Going back to the dhatu, you had karana as instrument, but in Vedantic language, we hear more of karanam. Is there a difference between the two, or both means instrument?
Both means instrument. This karana, I am using it as just as a pratipadika, not with the vibhakti ending. Whereas karanam is a vibhakti ending. Pratama vibhakti, ekavachanam of a napumsakalinga. That's where the mu comes from. Okay. So meaning wise they are same, but generally when we are putting that word karana in an English sentence, generally we go with the pratipadika. Okay, like we say vachana, purusha. But if you are using that vachana and purusha in a Saṁskṛta verb or sentence, then we will write it with the vibhakti. Okay, because in a Saṁskṛta sentence, you cannot use the pratipadika without converting into a vibhakti ending. Whereas in English, when you are using it in English, that rule doesn't apply.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so there's some case endings. The case ending, we generally go with the first case, second case, but they have English terms like a Pratama Vibhakti is the first case or nominative case. Dvitiya Vibhakti, second case or accusative case. Okay. Tritiya Vibhakti is the instrumental or the third case. Chaturthi Vibhakti is dative or fourth case. All these things are generally, we don't go into that much of a detail unless you are in a grammar class or something like Vedānta class. But those are the names. Okay. Saptami is a locative case, locus, where the action is happening. Shashti Vibhakti is genitive. Generally, it is something relating to something else. Okay. And Panchami is ablative case. This is just the English equivalents of these 7 vibhaktis. Okay. And there's another half vibhakti, which is Sambodhana Pratama Vibhakti, which will be called vocative sense, used while addressing somebody. Oh, okay. I had a sentence here, I forgot. So I made up a sentence which contains words in different vibhaktis. So if you explain the sentence, you will understand what these vibhaktis mean. So the number given as a superscript is the vibhakti and vachana. Okay. So the sentence goes, Ayodhyayaha Raja Sarayu Tire Swahastena Brahmanaya Koshat Swarna-nāna-kāni dadāti. Okay, a long sentence. It's made just to indicate the context for different vibhaktis, and it looks artificial, but I just made up something to contain all the 7 vibhaktis. Okay. In any sentence, the most important word is the verb. Okay. Without a verb, there will be no sentence. The verb may be explicitly mentioned in the sentence, or sometimes it is unmentioned but implied. Okay. Let's look at this. So the verb word is dadāti. Okay. If you see the suffix or the superscript which gives the details, okay, dadāti is a lat lakara. Lat lakara is the grammatic name for present tense. Okay. And then I have a Roman letter 1. That is the method we use, Medha uses, and I like that kind of notation. It's a Roman one indicates the Purusha. So it is Prathama Purusha. And the one is the number, singular. Okay, the regular Latin number 1 is singular. The Roman letter I or 1 is Prathama Purusha. And dadāti. Okay, dadāti means he gives. Now question comes, who gives? Whenever a action is mentioned, then the karta should be there. When it says he gives, the question will be asked, who gives? So that means who is the karta of the action, doer of the action? Who? So the who, the doer, is generally shown in Prathama Vibhakti. So we look for something with showing as 1. Okay, so this is Raja. Okay, so who gives? The king gives. Now when you say the king gives, king of what? So of what will be shown in the 6th Vibhakti. So you have here 6th Vibhakti. Raja, Raja of what? Raja of Ayodhya. Okay. So Ayodhyayaha Raja, the king of Ayodhya, gives. Okay. You ask one more question. What does he give? Because these are natural questions. So what does he give? Whatever he gives will be shown in the Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay, accusative case. So Dvitiya Vibhakti, let's see where is Dvitiya Vibhakti here. Okay, the numerator is the Vibhakti. Okay. So Dvitiya Vibhakti, Swarna-nāna-kāni, gold coins. Okay, so we are talking about centuries ago. Okay, king gives out gold coins or money to the people every day, maybe. Okay, Swarna-nāna-kāni, Swarna gold, Nāna-kāni coins, gold coins. So that goes with the Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay. Okay. So Ayodhyayaha Raja Swarna-nāna-kāni dadāti. The king of Ayodhya gives gold coins. Okay. Then question comes to whom? Okay. So when somebody donates or gives something to somebody, that somebody will be mentioned in the 4th Vibhakti. The beneficiary of the action of giving, or here the recipient or the beneficiary, will be indicated by 4th Vibhakti. Let's see where is the 4th Vibhakti. 4th Vibhakti is in here, Brahmanaya. So Aya is the indicator of 4th Vibhakti. Pratyaya for 4th Vibhakti, Brahmana. So a learned person. So king gives the money to a learned person. How does he give? Does he transfer into his bank account? No. How? The mode of giving is swahastena. He hands over physically. Swahastena, with his own hands. Okay, so that will be tritiya vibhakti. Okay, this is like a karana, tritiya vibhakti. Okay, so then the question comes, where did he get the money from? So wherever you get the thing from is shown in fifth vibhakti. Let's see where the fifth vibhakti is. Kosha. Okay, kosha is his treasury. So koshat, from the treasury. Okay. So then what else is left? Where does he do this? Where does the action take place? This dana happens where? So where is locative, location? Where is the location? Location is shown in seventh vibhakti, seventh case. So what is shown in 7 here? Sarayu Tire. Okay. So Ayodhya, the city is located in the banks of Sarayu river. So Sarayu Tire. Most likely, whenever the king does his morning puja or Sandhya Vandana in the river bank, maybe when he comes up, he does his daily charity. Okay. So Ayodhyayaha Raja is the karta. Sarayu Tire, the location. Swahastena, with his own hands. Brahmanaya, to the learned Brahmanas. Koshat, from his treasury. Swarna-nānakāni, gold coins. Dadati, gives. Okay, like the word order differs from language to language. In Saṁskṛta, generally the order doesn't matter, but it is customary to put the verb generally at the end. Okay, meaning doesn't change. Poets switch, but when we are writing in a prose sentence, generally the verb word comes at the end. Okay. Any questions? So this one sentence is illustration of the usefulness of, or the context of usage for the vibhaktis. Yes, Chanchalji.
The question, Jagdishji, about Swaran-nānakāni is
Okay.
the second and the third. I couldn't understand which one is second and which one is third.
Okay. So when it's a 2/3, 2/3. Okay. Now 2 is the vibhakti, 3 is the vachana.
Okay. So Nānakāni is the vachana.
No, Nānakāni is dvitiya bahuvachana.
Dvitiya bahuvachana. Okay.
Okay, dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachana. Because that Nānakam is singular, Nānakāni is plural, dvitiya vibhakti.
And then what is Swarana? Swarana, that
So Swarna is gold.
Yeah. So that doesn't have any vibhakti, anything?
Because Swarna is an adjective to coin.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so that is why there is no space. They're combined.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? So I assume then that the concept of vibhakti is clear, and we are going to discuss a little more when we go to the book too. Let's see what is there in the next one. Okay. Infinite number of words in the dictionary. You can make your own word by making new nouns, pratipadikas. We talked about this earlier also. Nearly all words, this kind of looks like a summary from the previous slide. Nearly all words are formed as word equals is made from verb root or stem plus a suffix. The word, the English, the Saṁskṛta word for word is pada, which is a root or a stem. The verb root or stem. Verb root, if it is, we are making a verb word, then this will be a root. And if you are making a noun word, it's a nominal stem is the base. Okay. So the base unit is called pratyaya, suffix is called, base unit is called prakriti, and suffix is called pratyaya. So a prakriti and a pratyaya, when they come together in a proper way, you have a usable word or padam. Okay, how do we get that? 5 ways to derive any word. Panchavrittayaha, 5 ways of derivation. Okay. Now this one item, the 5 ways of deriving word, is the entire volume 3. So volume 3, the title of the volume 3 book itself is Panchavrittayaha. So that is Panchavrittayaha. The volume 3 is about deriving words. There are different processes because there is a Panchavrittayaha, there are 5 different derivations. Give you a flare of that. One is sanadyanta. Sanadyanta is you are deriving a new verb root from an existing verb root. Okay. Verb root or a noun. You are deriving a new root itself. I mentioned earlier the verbs, there are already prescribed words and derived words. Prescribed words are listed in Panini's Dhatupata, and then methods of deriving new words are also available. So Sanadyanta is one of those processes where you can derive a new verb root based on a existing verb. Example. Okay, so what did I give here? Verb root or dhatu 1 or a noun 1 plus a sanadi pratyaya. One specific type of pratyayas when added to an existing dhatu will give you a new dhatu. It's an action plus this thing indicates a new action. For example, mucchu is the dhatu to indicate to free, okay, or to be free. That is where the word moksha comes from. Okay. Now there is one of these pratyayas, sanadi pratyayas. By adding that, you derive a new dhatu called mumuksha. Just the short sha, not mumuksha or mumukshu. Mumuksha. This is a verb. Okay. So the verb mumuksha means desire to free. Desire to be free. Okay. And you can make a verb word. Okay. I desire to be free, or I desired to be free, past tense. I will desire to be free for future tense. And you can add he or you, all those things are possible, just like kṛdātu. Okay. Another example, patha is to read. Suppose you make somebody read. So there is a new verb, right? Read is an action. You read yourself. So that's a verb patha. And you make somebody read, or you teach somebody. That is another kind of action related to patha, but not reading by itself. So that derived dhatu from patha, derived dhatu is pāthi. So balakaha pathati, the boy reads. Shikshakaha pathayati. So pāthi dhatu, when you add suffixes for converting into verb word, will become pathayati. Pat, pathati, the boy reads. Pāthi, pathayati, the teacher teaches or makes the boy read. Okay. And as mentioned here, the verbs can be derived from noun also. Okay. So there is a noun gardabha. Anybody knows the meaning of gardabha?
Is it donkey?
It is a donkey. Okay. That donkey as a noun can be converted into a verb also, making somebody like a donkey. Maybe in English we can say donkeyifying it. Okay, making somebody full of himself. Okay, so that action. So you can make this as gardabhati. So somebody makes someone else, makes him a fool. All these examples we will discuss in detail in book 3. So that is one mechanism. Another mechanism is kṛdanta, adding kṛdanta pratyaya or kṛt pratyaya. So you have a base dhatu and you add a kṛt pratyaya. This generates a noun base, a verbal base plus a nominal pratyaya. Okay, or kṛt pratyaya, you will get a pratipadika or a noun base. For example, the verb root jñā. Jñā is to know. Okay, and there is a pratyaya called jñā, trich pratyaya, one who knows. So jñāta. Okay, the ta comes from the doer, that pratyaya. Jnanam, something that is known. Okay, jneyam, something to be known. Jñātva, having known something. So this tva is the pratyaya. Ayam is a pratyaya. Anam is a pratyaya here. You can see that they're all added to the dhatu. So all these are nouns. Next is the taddhita pratyaya. Once you have a noun, you can derive another noun from that. Okay. So you have a noun, pratipadika one, add this kind of a pratyaya, taddhita pratyaya, and you will get a second one. Like for example, you have the noun, the person Pandu. You derive another noun, Pandava, the son of Pandu. Okay. Or Pandavaha, sons of Pandu, because it is derived by the pratipadika one, which is Pandu. Adding a taddhita pratyaya, you give the second pratipadika Pandava. Okay. Bhagavat, this is the pratipadika for Bhagavan. Okay. So this Bhagavat, this is derived from there is a pratipadika called Bhaga, and you add a taddhita pratyaya to make a new noun. Bhaga is a noun, some kind of Aishwarya, different kinds of and what is a pratyaya that adds somebody who has. So Bhagavat is one who has Bhaga. Same way Yogin, you know that there is a noun called Yoga, but Yogin is a person who has yoga or earned yoga. Okay. So from one pratipadika noun base, add a taddhita pratyaya to derive a new pratipadika. So those pratipadikas are called taddhita pratipadika. Those pratyayas are called taddhita pratyayas. So new derived words are called taddhitāntas. Okay. So those words which end in a taddhita pratyaya or derived by using a taddhita pratyaya. That is a new noun, secondary noun. And then there is samāsa. Samāsa is combining one or more nouns to make a new noun. We already talked about the samāsa in the previous slide. So some examples here. Ramanujaha. Ramasya anujaha. So Ramanuja means Rama's brother. This is one word. Okay, Ramanuja. Pitambaraha. Pitam is one word. Ambaram is another word. Whereas Pitambara is a third different word. Has a totally different meaning. So Rama is a meaning, has one meaning. Anuja is another meaning. Ramanuja has a totally different meaning. Same way here. The fifth derivative process is called Ekaśeṣa vritti. This is like a abridged version, abridging, like Ekaśeṣa. There may be one, two, or more nouns, and all of them collectively represented by one word. Okay, like instead of saying father and mother, you have one word, parent. Same way here, pitarau. Now the pita is generally father, but in this sense, Ekaśeṣa vritti pitarau, because it's shown here as dvivachana. So here it means mother and father. Mata cha, pita cha, pitarau. So Ekaśeṣa means there are multiple nouns. You pick one representative noun. That is Ekaśeṣa. One remains. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there is some more definitions. We will do that in the next class. 7 o'clock. We will stop here. And let's do our prayers. Go to the slide 1. Okay, concluding prayers. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay. Next Thursday, there will not be class because of the Thanksgiving. So we will see on coming Tuesday. Any questions?
Jagdish ji, what is the difference between dhatu and prakriti?
Okay, now Prakriti is like saying it's a basic element or natural element. So Dhatu and Pratipadika both are together called Prakriti. Okay, base element. Then Pratyaya. Okay, here here Prakriti is used in a grammatical sense. Okay, something which is a base element to which some other thing like Pratyaya is added. Okay, generally Prakriti means nature, but here it is in the sense that it is the base element before adding any other thing. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hari Om, Shubharatri.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Jagadisha ji.
Happy
you,
Happy
Jagdish ji.
Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Raji, good night. I think
Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you.
Raji,
Thank you.
Raji, this is Chanchal. No,
I
she's
have to
gone.
speak.
I think she may have left.
I can unmute now. Thank you, Jagdish ji. Thank you.
It's a very nice picture.
Mm.